Hi there, I'm Java Jim with First Line Equipment, and thank you for watching this video and coming to our YouTube channel. Today in front of us, we have a little bling bling, the gold plated or gold colored Ponte Vecchio export espresso machine. Now, is it real gold? No, I don't think it's real gold because this machine would be through the roof in pricing, but it's absolutely a gorgeous machine to actually have in your home. And we're going to go into some of the fine-tuned details of this machine. The ins and outs, the good, the bad, make an espresso out of it to show you the capabilities. And many of you probably know that I truly, really love the lever espresso machines. My first machine was a cheap machine, $99. My second machine was a manual lever machine. And the beauty of it, I used it actually to take over my folks' house, my sister's house, my brother's house, relative's house, because it actually is compact enough to travel with. So this is why I like the machine, but also the espresso that comes out. Not always the best crema, but a very, very good flavor profile. And at the end of the day, it really comes down to the flavor. Okay, you can have the best crema, but the worst taste. Throw that out. No crema and the best taste, I'm all for it. So you could try to find something in between, but at the end of the day, it really is the flavor that you want extracted out of the espresso. So just to get started, this is pretty much what you'll receive at the time of this video. Ponte Vecchio may change things in the future, so please don't hold us to it. That's with any manufacturer, they do make changes. So the videos are only as good as at the time that they're made. Here we have the espresso machine. It's a decent weight, and if you heard the little farting noise, there's actually little cups on the bottom to grip the machine. So if you look here, you have four friction cups or suction cups here on the bottom to help stabilize the machine. It's the only espresso machine I know of that has that. So a really nice feature on the machine. As far as construction, pretty good. Might sound a little tinny, but it's okay. The one drawback that I don't like is this body right here. It does shift a little bit. There are screws inside to tighten it, but you don't want to over tighten it. So there's a little shift in here. Every machine is going to have its quirks, and I'm going to point those out to you as best as possible. Now you see some brown colored or wood colored parts here, right here, here. These are made out of plastic. Okay, so you have plastic here, put wood in here. It's probably going to burn up. Okay, on the inside, stainless steel boiler, safety valve. There is no bleeder valve. You have your water sight glass here. Okay, now the thing is, the cap here is made of wood. Let me show you something. Let's put that in there. Do you see the cap? No, they don't need to make the cap out of wood. It could have been black, but they made it out of wood anyway. So just something interesting. When I looked at this machine, I'm like, why make that wood when the cover's on top? And then you have the gold plated panels that one goes on top here. And the one here is actually on a slant. So if you rest two small espresso or demi-tasse cups, it's going to go up here, and then the one panel will go down here for the drip tray. Now, the drip tray, you have the cover, but there is no tray to remove. So you kind of need a paper towel or try not to get anything in there. So a little bit of a drawback compared to other machines, there is no tray here to remove. So a little bit of another drawback, but a great little machine. Included, and as far as accessories, we have a nice brass portafilter with the gold plating. Again, plastic handle, it's not wood, but really nice looking. I'm really impressed. We have the lever that screws in. Okay, so a little assembly required when you get the machine. And I'll go over here. If you notice, when the lever's in the up position, that usually means it's a spring piston lever. There's a spring in here. And what happens is when you bring the lever down, you're pulling and pushing and compressing the spring. And once you start making espresso, or it starts extracting, or with the pre-infusion at this point, then you'll let go and it should slowly come up. If it comes up too fast, it means your grind is not fine enough. So in that down position, that's when it allows some steam pressure to push the water through the coffee grinds. That's your steam pressure pre-infusion. And that's really the spot where it creates a really good flavor profile. It is in that portion right there. Let's see here. Stainless steel scoop. Sometimes these may be plastic. They gave you a stainless one. If you watch my other videos, I don't really use the scoop. I'll show you the purpose of that. Funnel. So we basically have the cap coming off, and take that out. We'll put that there, and we'll pour some water. And my little secret for lever machines that have a sight glass like this, I like to fill it about 3/4 full. And why is that? The reason is because I want to make sure, and as you can see, I'm filling this before I turn it on. Okay, and there's a red line that thickens as the water goes up. And like I said, I aim for 3/4 because it gives me enough steam pressure up here to do the pre-infusion, but also that water at that level kind of maintains better temperature stability. So as if you're making subsequent shots, a second, third, fourth, fifth, and it's going down, it builds up more steam pressure. And typically what happens is it comes out hotter out of the group head. So I like to make sure that it's about 3/4. If you're gonna do subsequent shots, maybe even go up to 80 or 85% with that. And as you can see, a funnel is included. I'll close this up. And the nice part that they started doing for us, see this extension cord and the plug right here? When we asked them to put the plastic bag, because when there's no plastic bag, guess what happens in shipping? Scratches. So Ponte Vecchio was nice enough to listen. The only thing is when you use snips to take the tie wrap off, just make sure you don't cut the cord. Okay, here. So just make sure about that. I will disappear for 1 second. Had to plug it in. So I plugged the unit in, and then if you look here, it was already in the on position. So as you can see, I filled it with water first, even before I checked the switch. So now there's a little light there, it's displaying. We got the heat light right here. So now it's gonna start warming up. We'll put the cover on. And while that's warming up, usually about 10-15 minutes is a good time for this machine. We'll run some water through the group head. And then here's the portafilter, dual spout. And what you'll see here is 3 baskets. So like I'm scratching my head, why do we have 3 baskets here? Well, we have our double. You know, my doubles are my favorite. More espresso, more ground espresso coffee, the better the flavor profile. For those who want a challenge, use the single basket, or for the others, nice paperweight. And then there's a third basket. What do you think this third basket's for? ESE pods, easy serving espresso pods. And I say to myself, whew, why would you get a machine like this and serve pods? I'll tell you why. So you're having some company come over and you have your grinder, and what happens is 2 people want regular espresso and 2 people want decaf. So a good way, instead of pre-grinding the decaf and mixing in with, say, a Lalique grinder or any other grinder that you have, and you do need a good grinder, you have a few decaf pods. So all you do is you're going to change the basket and you're going to insert it. Now the key is, and I'm not going to make this because although pods are very easy, I'm not going to drink decaf in this case, but you need to stick the paper in, okay? And you put the basket in like that, and this is not warmed yet, but you're going to lock it in like that, and then you could pull using the pod. So not crazy about that, but as you can see, I just took it out. Sometimes the cup will come out. There is a spring inside, but sometimes it won't grip enough on these machines. So don't be alarmed. I've seen it happen. Okay, so let's get the 2-cup basket in here. We're going to get the portafilter in here. And I just tightened the handle because it didn't even seem tight enough. So I'll lock that in. Now you see here, it's not at the 6-degree angle. It's like about 530. Normal, okay? The gaskets are brand new. There's 3 new gaskets in here. It needs a little bit of a break-in period, okay? So just keep that in mind. Let me grab a cup back here. If you have a gold cup you want to send me, please. I'll take a gold cup to match this machine. The other thing about Ponte Vecchio, which I like, is if you watch my other videos, there's a conspiracy with plastic tamper companies in Europe. In this case, there's no conspiracy. You know why? Because their tamper does fit, where everyone else's is always too small. So their tamper does fit. We do have some curvature there. I do love the flats, but this does work. Okay, you can hear the machine. I'll get closer to it. Hopefully you can hear it cooking. Okay, as far as repairs for the machine, it's actually a very, very simple machine for self-repairs. You have a safety valve, you have a sight glass in there, there's a white with the red plastic covering in there, so it gives the backdrop for the sight glass. You have your steam valve. Okay, don't over tighten this because you'll wear out the gaskets. There's a steam valve in here, steam pipe. Since we've been carrying this for probably about 10 years, we haven't replaced any steam valves, boilers. We probably replaced a few heating elements on the bottom, and that's just going through the screws bottom plate, and then you have access to the underside there, and then there's a pressure stat as well as a safety thermostat underneath. So just keep that in mind. So it's a really simple machine. There's also 4 screws back here if you want to take the back panel off. So you have access to the unit. Let's see if this goes this way. It does not. So there's actually a round circular half circle here, and on this side as well. That goes over the knobs and back. Dumb me. Okay, now it's heating up. Group head's getting a little bit warm. Okay, it's heating. And as far as cleaning the finish, terry cloth with moist water, maybe a little bit of rubbing alcohol, but nothing abrasive that's going to scratch the unit. I mean, this unit is absolutely stunning in person, so you want to keep it nice and clean. Again, the drip tray, you're going to need a terry cloth to basically wipe whatever liquid in there, and you really don't want to get as much in there. So now we're going to keep on letting this heat, and I can feel the group head here. Again, there's 3 gaskets here in the piston. The group head is held in by these 4 bolts here, and there's a gasket here, insulating gasket between the group head and the boiler on the inside. So you do have that there. And as soon as we get a little hotter to the touch, okay, I could feel it. Now the group head has to be piping hot. The portafilter has to be piping hot where you can't touch it, and that basically will make the better espresso. There's actually a wood accoutrement over here. Nice little touch instead of being black, so I really do like that. They really produce a good machine in the export. I really like the export, especially for traveling, you know, because it's so compact. You literally have some customers who take this machine and put it in their suitcase when they're traveling. I won't go that crazy, but I do have some customers. Actually, I have taken this for traveling. When I put it into a vehicle and I drive long distance, I will take the export. As far as a plane, I'm a little resistant on that. I don't have enough room, but I do have customers that do that. Now the wand, okay, here the tip is not removable. And I believe there is, yep, the 3-hole tip there, and it's not movable. There's no movement. Now, if you want to extend it out, you can, but there is no movement on the wand. Now, the machine has stopped heating. Okay, the group head is only lukewarm. So a way to trick the machine is to literally run some water, I'm gonna bring the lever down, and it's a good idea to hold the handle. Okay, and I ran about a cup through. Now the machine will have some coffee grinds in it. And the reason I say that is because Ponte Vecchio does test the machines with coffee. Okay, so you will find some. And here's a terry cloth, just wipe this down. And we are getting piping hot there. And we're piping hot here. So now we're gonna grind some espresso. We'll use the Elite William grinder. Okay, what I like about it is the push button. I can grind what I need. And if you remember, what the scoop is for is basically to level out the ground coffee. And I just throw the rest out. So the level of the coffee is the level of the rim. And in most cases, I say the rim of the tamper will go to the top here, but this is not the case on this machine. So you want to push down as hard as you can, a little twist, hold the basket, and basically here, you want the level of the coffee to be the same. Now, if the flow is too fast, you can pack in a little more coffee after the tamping on this machine. So we'll lock that in here, bring it in. Now I went over past the 6 o'clock. My cup's nice and warm. I'm gonna pull the lever down. Okay, and soon as, see the lever's moving too fast? Okay, came up way too fast. So in this case, what do you think we need to do? What we need to do is we need to make the grind finer. Very little crema. We'll see how it tastes. It's drinkable. The body is not there, but the flavor profile getting a little bit of a nut flavor in there, and a little bit of hint of dark chocolate in the cup. So I would go a little finer. Now, you can't remove the portafilter right away. And the reason is there's no three-way solenoid valve on any lever machine. So I'm gonna hold a unit, and just in case, just to avoid an explosion, I'm gonna take it off slowly. You could hear that little puff sound and a little pressure there. So, okay, and if you look here, the coffee has expanded. So I'm gonna pull another shot. I'm gonna use the same grinds, but I'm gonna put a little bit more espresso in there. Okay, I leveled it, and here instead of the scoop, I'm gonna use my finger, level it off. That grinder does phenomenal. Tamp as hard as I can go. I'm gonna pack in a little bit more espresso. So it's a little trick that you can do on this machine. I'm gonna pack it in again. Okay, I'm pushing hard on this, really hard. And I'm gonna lock this in. And if you can't lock it in, what that means is too much coffee. Okay, so let's get this cup here. I cooled the cup down a little bit, which is a no-no. And basically, let's get started here. From here, we'll pull down the lever. I'm holding the top of the unit. You can hold from here as well. Now you could see, just by adding more coffee, nothing is coming out. There we go. We have some drips here. And now I'm gonna wait for the bottom rim. So I didn't change the grind, I changed the amount of coffee, but you can also change the grind fineness and go finer. when the bottom rim is kind of filled, I'm gonna guide this up. And is it normal for one side to get more? Yeah, sometimes when it's coming out slow like that. Okay, there we go. This is looking good. There we go. So just by adding some more coffee, and why did I go that route? The reason is more coffee for me creates a better flavor profile. So I like to pack in the coffee. Crema is okay. It's not like some other machines, but again, we're looking for the flavor. If that's what you want, this is the machine. There's pure smoothness in the cup. There is absolutely no bitterness whatsoever. Very high in acidity, and the sweetness level is delicious. It's like chocolate just flowing through, and much better on the second shot compared to the first shot. So you could see the pour that came out, and from there, that's where you make the adjustments. So the coffee can take 5-10 seconds to come out on the pre-infusion. Again, you can adjust the grind fineness or the amount of coffee in the basket, and I eyeballed it. You may want to use a scale to weigh it to repeat, but I typically been doing this so long, I'll just eyeball it. Now, as far as steam pressure, they didn't really give me a cup to steam, so I'm going to steam right into here. Just to show you, and I'm not going to steam any milk, but we're going to open that up. Okay. Pretty dry. Okay. I'm getting some condensation here, but there's very, very little. The steam is dry. Now, do not leave this in steam mode all the time because this water level is dropping. Okay. So if you're making 2, 3, 4 espressos, make that first, then steam the milk. Again, you don't want all that extra steam space for the espresso shot. You want to use that 75-80% of water to maintain the temperature stability to be better, and then steam the milk later. Woo, that is hot. Okay, closing the steam valve. Okay, close until the steam stops. Don't over tighten. Okay, you don't want to break the O-rings and the gaskets in here. So don't over tighten the knob on this side. Okay, so that's pretty much an overview of this great machine. Again, tried to show you the ins and the outs. Very compact, slim profile, and actually a great traveling machine. Like I said, when I drive long distances, this one's coming with me. So I really enjoy this machine because a lot of times I can't get great espresso out there. So I got to bring my own. The only time is on a plane. So sometimes I have to suffer a little bit. But you know, sometimes I like to try new coffee shops anyway, so give them a chance. If you have any questions, please, you can ask down below. You can visit the link that's down below on our website, ask questions there on the Q&A section. If you can, and I really appreciate it, give us a thumbs up down below, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and I appreciate you for watching. This is Java Jim with First Line Equipment. Coffee first, everything else second.